It's time to get ramblin' with your host of the Ramblin' Bout Wrestling podcast, Nick Pearl. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Ramblin' Bout Wrestling podcast. I'm your host, Nick Pearl, and it's such a beautiful day out. They're painting inside, so I can't do a podcast episode at the computer, so I'm sitting on the deck. I did this a couple times last year, but now we got a mic, so hopefully this sounds all right. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go. Anyway, there's been a lot of stuff going on recently, the last couple of weeks in the wrestling world, not just WWE, but also AEW. So we're going to talk about both companies today, just kind of do a bit of a catch-up, because I was really focused on Big Brother for the last 3 months, because my cousin Ava Pearl was on the show. She placed 4th, which is very good, because usually the Pearls don't do well when it comes to, having luck on their side. We're all really, really proud of her. I can't wait to see her. She's maybe coming back tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. Finale night's tonight, ready to see who wins. This is not a Big Brother podcast, but you might see some content. Anyway, there has been a lot going on with TNA. There's been a lot going on with NXT. There's been a lot going on with AEW. So first off, that I want to talk about, TNA invading NXT. They did this the other night in the main event. It was Trick Williams versus Obafemi, winner takes all, and I knew every company, WWE, TNA, even House of Glory has been doing it. There's been a ton of winner take all matches, and almost every single one of them ends in a disqualification, which just pisses me the hell off. If you're advertising there's going to be a new champ, double champ, let it happen. Why we never get a clean finish anymore is beyond me. But Trick versus Oba going for the TNA title, and none of them are under a TNA contract. I'm not a fan of it, but I do like the TNA invasion. I'm not a fan of how they did it the other night, where usually you would think it's going to be like, ooh, a surprise. No, they had shown people backstage throughout the night, showing tweets. Like, obviously, people are going to be coming. And the thing that drives me nuts, it's like all these wrestlers in TNA must get sent an email or something saying, I need you to post about this, but make it your own words. Reminds me of Ray Phoenix when they had the big Canelo fight. Ray Phoenix put up on Twitter, fight of the century, and then in quotes, in your own words. He was supposed to put it in his own words, but he did not know this, and he just copy and pasted the email. That's what I feel like was going on with all the TNA wrestlers. With the invasion. They were sent something, post about it. Oh, I'm not a fan of this. Oh, we're going to be coming to your house. And it happened. And then it became background. The whole entire invasion became background to Obafemi and Ricky Saints for the NXT Championship, which they built up. Feels like it's only been a couple of weeks, and we're going to get into that too. We're definitely going to talk about No Mercy. I'm not a fan of how they've been building this TNA stuff, but I do like where we're heading. So during No Mercy, they announced that TNA and WWE, or NXT, are going head to head in like a Survivor Series type environment, which I love war games, but now it's gotten to the point where they're just doing war games for the sake of doing war games, and they're not doing it because the feud calls for it. Finally, we're getting some traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series matches, which there have been some fantastic ones, and we just haven't gotten it for the last couple of years because of war games. So we're doing TNA versus NXT, and that's a perfect time to do it. We don't need Battle of the Brands, Raw and SmackDown, brand supremacy. Nobody cares about that, guys. I'm sorry. We haven't cared about it since NXT was involved. That was one of the last great Survivor Series matches, by the way. TNA and NXT Survivor Series, 5-on-5. We don't know who's going to be on the teams yet, other than I believe Miles Bourne is going to try and be the captain for NXT. And TNA seems to be getting like Moose, Frankie Kazarian, all those guys. Probably the system. Matt Cardona. I can't wait, but they're doing it on an episode of NXT called Invasion, NXT Invasion. And what is ridiculous is we always knock on them for going head-to-head with AEW. This just happens to be Title Tuesday. So of course they're doing it on a Tuesday. Don't you think if this is such a big deal, this invasion's a giant deal, that you would give it a pay-per-view? No, they didn't. So that drives me crazy. TNA's kind of the background filler to NXT with this whole thing. I'm trying to get the lighting nice on me. I'll keep adjusting myself, guys. Don't worry. Move on to TNA's latest pay-per-view. You had a battle royal because it's a shame. Ash by Elegance had to vacate the title. She didn't say why. She just said she can no longer do what she loves. That's pretty much the wording she used. So something must have happened. She didn't get cleared by medical, so they had to change that on the fly. If you want Battle of the Brands, you got 3 either former or current NXT wrestlers going for the Knockouts Championship. You got Xia Li versus Kalani Jordan with Indy Hartwell on as the referee. That makes no sense. It made no sense for Indy to be the referee anymore because that whole feud was her and Ash and Masha, and we're not even going to talk about Masha right now. I don't really even know what's going on with that, but I guess Masha's done. Kalani Jordan became the Knockouts champion. After TNA worked so hard, they did that whole payoff, getting the title back. Let's just give it right back to WWE. I don't like that. It makes no sense to me. Now, I know TNA's whole Knockouts division is kind of all over the place, obviously, because your champion that you were going to build your company around is gone. But why did you just give it back to WWE? TNA's got the women. They have the talent that can cover and hold the company until if Ash were to come back. But no, let's just give it to somebody else. Make WWE the head of attention yet again. And that's another thing that I was talking about, title for title matches. You got the Hardys versus Dark State, winner takes all. Not knocking Dark State, not knocking the Hardys, but does anybody want to see this match? I really don't. I mean, it's huge for the guys in Dark State, their careers, to go up against the Hardys, where the Hardys have only had a handful of matches in WWE recently. You know, they got Fraxium and stuff. I don't necessarily think this is going to be a good match, guys. And I don't see the benefit in having the Hardys become the NXT Tag Team Champions. It's like a step down, because they've been WWE Tag Team Champions multiple times. So now they're NXT Tag Team Champions under TNA contract, and you got Dark State that just won the belts, and you want to build them up. I just see that as a point for leading to disaster. But the invasion angle is going to be exciting. I can't wait for that. I did mention Ricky Saints and Oba Femi. For months, you have been building up Javon Evans. You have him go up against Oba, he gets knocked back down. He builds himself back up to go up against Oba, he loses and goes back down. You would think the third time's the charm. He's going to get the job done. The ultimate underdog taking down the ruler of NXT. No, that's not what happened. They throw Ricky Saints in there for the last couple of weeks. And I like Ricky. I really, really do. No issue with him. Just the way that this match, they heated it up, it doesn't make sense to me. And they had Ricky Saints beat Oba Femi clean in the ring after about 4 or 5 DDTs. Ricky can't hit the Rochambeau on him because he's too meaty, too big, but he hits a bunch of tornado DDTs. So the finish came out of nowhere. The match really started to pick up at the end, so I thought they could have gone a little longer. Ricky's going to be a great NXT champion. Oba's been a fantastic champion, one of the best NXT champions in recent memory, honestly. He's up there with Adam Cole because every single one of his matches, quite frankly, hit. I can't think of a bad match, and even when he was North American champion, he had great matches. Like, Oba's entire career in NXT, it kind of mirrors Gunther, because Oba's almost always been a champion, and now he loses the belt. So what's next? Where does Oba go from here? Does he just get called up immediately, throw him into the United States Championship scene, have him demolish Sami Zayn? Because Oba's going to be pissed, guys. Become United States champion, the ruler of the main roster mid-card, so you could throw Sammy into the spotlight for the Rumble, where I still think he's going to win. But he's got to overcome the adversity somehow. You got to make it look like he's not going to. Sammy's had a very, very long string of good luck recently. It's not going to hang on forever, and you just expect it. Sammy's going to get knocked right back down, just like Javon Evans has. And I'm just so upset that Javon was not the guy to beat Oba. Like, it doesn't, I'll never understand it. I'll never get why they didn't pull the trigger, and they should have so many times, but whatever. I'm not the booker. I wish I was, but I'm not. So Javon will end up beating Ricky. I don't know. NXT's got to fix their main event scene. That's enough of NXT, though. That's enough of... Oh, and also, freaking Lola Vice didn't win the title. What are we doing, guys? It's like you build. It's the same story with Javon. You build her up, she gets knocked down. You build her up, she gets knocked down. Jada Parker, build her up, gets knocked down. Start, stop, start, stop. When are you going to think, let's do it now, let's do it now? WWE likes to focus on the shock factor now for literally no reason at all. They just do. We don't need that anymore. If it makes sense, pull the trigger. Tony Khan did it. He just did it with Brodito winning the tag titles. Speaking of tag titles, that's a pretty good transition right there. I'm kind of proud of myself. Women's Tag Team Championships in AEW. It's been a long time coming. They actually have major potential here. TNA has the Knockouts tag titles. I don't really see many tag teams there. WWE, the women's tag titles are basically dead. They got the Judgment Day. They got the Dungeon Dolls. I don't know who else they have. TNA's got the Iconics. They've got the Elegance brand. They had Spitfire, but I don't think Spitfire's a thing anymore. And that's all I could think of. AEW. I'm just going to rattle off a couple right now off the top of my head because I'm confident that I can. You have Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. The Triangle of Madness, Willow and Statlander if you needed. Ty Mello, and Anna Jay if you want. Well, Chris Statlander is also with Harley Cameron. You got Renegade Twins, who could be with Mercedes Moné. Mercedes wants a partner. How about you have the other two girls go? Mercedes doesn't need a tag belt. There are so many different directions that you can go with these tag titles. Deonna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie. They have the opportunity to make the women's tag titles more prestigious than the men's tag titles. Which, in what world would you ever thought that be possible? So much potential. There's a lot of people that are sleeping on the women's tag teams, but they have really been building them up for a long, long time. And now that the belts are here, they're ready for that spotlight. Having these women's tag team titles, they are now heading into Blood and Guts. The first ever time for the women. And it's not just thrown together because it's Blood and Guts season. They've been building this probably longer than they've been teasing the tag titles coming in. Queen Aminata and Tekla. They just been going at it for months. So I'm very excited for the women's tag titles. Whoever ends up winning Blood and Guts, expect them to be either in the match for the first ever champions or to be the first ever women's tag team champions. It's really going to be great. So moving on from here, we are going to be heading into Australia for Crown Jewel. We're not going to talk about the men or anything. This is the one match I want to focus on right now. It'll be Stephanie Vaquer, the brand new women's world champion, going up against Tiffany Stratton for the Crown Jewel Championship. Naomi having this baby. It's fantastic for her, but it really screwed up plans. Because if you had Jade going for the women's title, and all of a sudden she just doesn't win it, and there's no rhyme or reason for it. Tiffany's had a great run, but all she's done is feud against Nia and Jade the whole entire time, pretty much. You would have had Naomi versus Jade for the Crown Jewel Championship in their rematch. I really think that was the plan. It's all going to work itself out. The women's division in every company right now is on fire, except for NXT. Not a fan of what's going on there. I do like JC though, but I just don't understand. I just don't understand it. I don't know how many times I said I don't understand in this podcast episode. Somebody get the counter in the comments. That's about all I got. TNA. invading NXT. No Mercy Fallout. Women's tag titles in AEW. Blood and guts for the women. A lot to look forward to. Cannot wait to watch. Cannot wait to ramble. And with all that being said, I have been your host, Nick Pearl, and I'll catch you on the next one. Let's keep rambling, everybody.